I, like many, have got sucked into the gorgeous campaign that's happening right now by Laura Geller, and it's for her 3-piece holiday set. Today, I'm going to be taking you through a simple tutorial and letting you know what I think of the final results. So I'm just a regular gal trying out this beautiful set to see if it's something that I want to take with me when I travel. Or you just want a quick, like 10-minute face with very few brushes, and you don't have to claw through your makeup bag making any decisions. Like, what we need more and more at this age is fewer decisions. So this is what I'm wearing right now, and I'm going to start this video with a fresh face, and we'll talk about how it feels, how it looks, and what I think about the final result. I am 50 years old. In fact, I'm just a little bit shy of 51 in January, and of course I have a little bit of creasing and fine lines, and especially around the eyes here. And sometimes I like wearing a little bit of foundation just to kind of even out the discoloration of my face. And also, because of this stage of life that I'm in right now, I sometimes get a little bit of rosacea, which is what I've got here, a little bit of some breaking out and some inflammation. So that will be something that I will be putting to the test with this particular application, just to see what kind of coverage it is, and then if it's the buildable coverage that it claims to be as well. Hi everyone, it's CrystalBeshara here, and if you've been to my channel before, you know that I am a professional artist and arts educator, and normally you know me as an artist who works in her studio sharing tips and tricks, both behind the scenes, some of my painting process, as well as free tutorials in watercolor, pen and ink, and sometimes even oil. Because I love color, I actually also love applying makeup, and I want to share with you my thoughts. So come with me, let's unbox this new holiday set by Laura Geller, which is a 3-piece set. Comes with her Best of the Tuscan Dreams face palette, and also the baked Balance-n-Brighten baked foundation. And the 3rd piece to this holiday set is her really pretty Kabuki brush. So I'm going to be trying all 3 things out. All the links are available in the description box below. I don't have any makeup on other than a little bit of lip gloss and some concealer just to kind of set a base, but I have no facial serum or product on my face otherwise. This is by no means endorsed. I've never done beauty or makeup tutorials here or unboxing before, so this is a first. So let me know if you're a regular on my art channel here. Let me know what you think about this. So this is really lightweight, and my hope is that I can actually just take this traveling with me. So it's probably about 3/4 of an inch thick, and it's roughly like a 5x7 format. So it's very, very pretty. It definitely is sparkly for the holidays. And then look at all of these yummy colors in here. So what you're seeing here is a plastic protective cover, which I'll probably hang on to, especially when I go to travel, so that nothing gets damaged. And there's a very generous mirror here, which is really helpful, especially when you're in hotel rooms and your partner or your hubby is in the bathroom taking up the one mirror that's in the hotel room. So I'm looking forward to being able to use a full-size mirror like this. So I'll take off this plastic. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to get at this protective plastic here. I did see in somebody else's video they were talking about how tricky it is to remove, and I am seeing that is going to be a little bit of a challenge. So I'm going to try turning it upside down. Ah, there. Okay, so that popped up actually quite easily. So it's just a little protective cover here. We can do away with that. So what we've got here are 5 eyeshadows. So what we've got here are 6 eyeshadows: Sabia, Terrosa, Gusto, Alba, Perla, and Luna. I believe Terrosa and Luna and possibly Gusto are just a matte finish, whereas these 3 here are a luster and a slightly pearlescent finish. The Roman Holidays, the bronzer. I've never used any of Laura Geller's products before, so I'm really jazzed. Now this looks like a powder, but it is apparently a highlighter. We're going to be using all three of these today. And then finally, there's this really delicious, almost planetary looking starfish island. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, this 3-piece holiday set comes with a Kabuki brush, which is awesome. It's not a tool that I have currently. So here it is here. So it's, oh my gosh, it's really, really, really soft. And the cool thing about this is that when this interior tube is all the way down, this allows you to have the full breadth of the brush opening like this. And then if you want a denser application, you can just move this telescopic tube up a little bit so that you've got firmer, denser bristles. So that's what we'll be applying the baked foundation with. I've never used baked foundation before, so this will be new for me as well. So here it is here. Now I am fair to medium, I would say. So I've tried to pick online the best possible option for myself. I ended up with the light, so we can have a look at it here. I'm hoping that I guessed correctly. This is supposed to be a color, what they call a color correcting and self-adjusting makeup. So there's all of these different swirls here, which I believe are part of what kind of makes it a little bit more customizable. So Kabuki brush and baked makeup, that's what we're going to apply first. I'm just going to dab lightly. There is quite a lot of smoky kind of powder that comes off of it, so I don't want to waste too much. So I'll just kind of dab like this, and maybe I have to swirl. I don't know. I'll go back and revisit the website to see if there are more instructions. But yes, as you can see, there are little poofs and little clouds of the product kind of flying all over. So it is quite lightweight. I have no idea how much to apply. Hopefully you can see it here. Okay, so here I go. I'll try to get as close as I can so that you can really see the full effect of the makeup going on. I don't have my glasses on, so we'll see how this goes. I'm hoping that this is also the right color. Oh, with very little pressure, I can see already that it's pretty decent coverage. So I'm just going to use a circular motion. So that has worn off the brush quite quickly. So I'll just dip back into my powder here. It is hard to tell. I'm sure I'll become accustomed to it eventually, but at this point in time, really not entirely sure how much product I need. The fact that I understand that it is buildable will be kind of how I will learn and adjust appropriately. I'm actually pretty happy with the color. I certainly wouldn't want to go any lighter, and it is late fall in Canada here, so it's early November, if this gives you an idea of what kind of color my skin is. So I do get a little bit of color in the summer, and then it certainly starts to fade over time very quickly. So I think this is about it. I do get a little bit vascular in the temples. I would like to cover this one little spot up a little bit more, so I'll just reapply. I like to get rid of the redness around the nose. I do have this little sunspot here. Let me see if I can just get rid of that. So I'm going to move this tube up a little bit to make that bristle a little denser. See if we can cover that up. Okay, still there, but from what I see, it is a little on the bronzy side. I can tell that, I almost could have gone a little bit lighter at this stage in the year, but it blends so well, it's not really problematic. I hope that that is useful information for you. It is quite translucent, I will say. Currently, it does feel a little bit dry. Like I'm definitely aware of the presence of something on my face, and it does feel dry, but not the way a true powder feels dry. So I'm hoping that my natural oils, etc., will help to kind of soften it, and it will feel a little bit more blended into my natural skin texture. I have normal skin, so I suppose if you have normal or dry skin, you could put a nice serum down first. So anyway, this is what it looks like on bare skin. It's definitely more even in tone, and it is quite fast, and it certainly isn't cakey. It's not settling into any pores. So that part is impressive. Let's move on to the bronzer and the blush application. So now I'm going to start with a voiceover because I was having a little bit of difficulty with the audio. I'm bringing you in a little bit closer so you can have a closer look, and I'm going to start with the bronzer. And this is the Roman Holiday bronzer, which has a bunch of really yummy little swirls of coral and chocolate. And I'm going to use my big fluffy brush and just brush it really quickly and gently across the forehead. I do see that there's just the perfect amount of pigment and it's not too sparkly. So in fact, it looks quite natural. And of course, with bronzer, we're always going to put it in those sun-kissed areas. And I'm just using it as a very, very subtle contour on the sides of my nose. I always get a little bit of sun on the cheeks and across the bridge of my nose as well, and the chin. And then I do have a fairly prominent forehead, so I am putting it across that bump that protrudes in the forehead. And again, yeah, what I'm noticing right away is that it is quite natural and that there is a nice contrast between it and the light shade of the foundation. So that's a bonus. Just keep in mind that I'm using the Roman Holiday as the bronzer and the light shade in the color correcting foundation. Now I'm going to work with Starfish, that's the blush, and applying that very lightly. It's quite pigmented, so normally in a bathroom I would just knock it against the side of the sink to get rid of some of that fallout. I like applying it to the apples of my cheeks, and then I'll just quickly brush it up a little bit. So this is the perfect amount of pigment. Has just a nice satin finish. I like putting a little bit across the tip of my nose as well for a young, fresh look. So it does have a little bit of a sheen to it, but it's not too shiny. There's no mica, no sparkles, which again just gives it a satiny finish without it catching the light. If you're on camera, this is kind of the perfect amount of sheen. Now I'm going to pop on a little bit of highlighter, just using my finger for this. And this is the French Vanilla highlighter. We'll see how effective it is because there isn't any shimmer to it. It's actually quite opaque. So I'll put a tiny bit on the end of my nose and then just dot it on the very top edge of my cheekbones under the eye area and through the center of my nose. I also like applying it to the upper part of the Cupid's bow on my lip, and that just helps that upper lip pop out a little bit farther and catch the light. Might as well put it on the brow bone, although I imagine the perla will have a similar kind of effect to that. So it is very, very natural, as we can see. It's not a very dramatic effect, but if you are looking for something that's quick and natural and just a quick morning face, this is, I think, going to be a really good solution. So I'm going to start with an all over base, working with the perla and an angled fluffy eyeshadow brush. Oh my goodness. I wouldn't say it's like super pigmented, but it goes on very easily. And for someone like myself, I have quite deep eye sockets, so I'm really enjoying that. And I am also seeing that it's not getting caught up in the creases like some of the more iridescent or shiny eyeshadows do for me. So I'm really happy with that. I'm going to run that on the inside of my eye because I have close set eyes, so I like to add a little extra light in through the corner and the outer corner. And then from here, I will dip into Alba, what we would call a dusty rose color. So I'm going to apply that to the crease on the outside just to see if there's any impact. So that's quite light, not a lot of color going on there. In fact, I don't see much color at all. I'm going to try a different brush to see if that makes a difference. Yeah, not a whole lot of color, which I suppose would be nice if it was a more subtle look that you were going for. I'm going to go into the color Gusto. So I think that's a little nicer for me. Just working that into the crease. I like brushing from the outside in. I'm not a makeup artist, so don't come for me. I know my face and I know what I need to do, but yeah, so that just has a little bit of a kind of a coppery sheen to it. Let's see what Luna has to offer us. Let's work that on the outer edge of my eyelid, closest to my lash line. So these are really, really subtle colors here. I'm going to take this slightly more flat brush here and then add a little bit of Luna under my lash line on the lower edge. I'm not noticing a big difference between Gusto and Luna. I think Gusto has a little bit more of a reddish quality to it. Luna is just a bit more chocolatey, slightly cooler undertones. I did pick up an eyeliner as well. I won't use that for this particular tutorial because I want to just show you exactly what comes in the holiday kit. So there you have it. Like the difference is quite subtle. This eye doesn't have anything on it, and this eye has the Alba, the Perla, Luna, and Gusto. I think I would even consider using the Starfish blush as a nice little pink. Let's see what that looks like. Just tapping that in with my finger to give a little bit more of a soft look, and that's quite nice. So I'll finish the other eye. I'll throw on a little bit of mascara and we will see what the finished look is. I mean, you're not going to get a super dramatic look out of this palette, but it is quite natural. And I do like how luminous the finish is. Even in this last 20 minutes or so, I do feel like the baked foundation is starting to soften a little bit. I'll see if I can get a little bit closer to you here. So you can see there's just a little bit of shimmer without any mica, without any actual particles. The foundation isn't really creating any creases. I did see just with my finger if I could add a little bit more to this blemish, and it has covered it up a little bit more. So it's not super dense coverage, but I think that's the idea with this particular palette is that the overall effect is supposed to be natural. Let's take the Luna, this little flat brush here, okay, and I'm just going to apply a little bit under. I'm going to grab my mascara and just finish things off. Give it a little wiggle at the base and move outward. I have very light, very sparse eyelashes, and I just bought a heated lash curler because I saw Jennifer Aniston talking about this, and I was like, what the heck? There's an eyelash curler. It's just the teeniest, tiniest little, almost like a curling iron for your lashes. However, I did not do that today, so they are a little bit stick straight. But you can see there is a pretty good difference between the two eyes once I've got that mascara on. Voila. I'll just finish off the other eye. This is my DIOR Big Show. So it's a 2-beam mascara, which I love because I can just take a little bit of warm water and run it between my thumb and my pointer finger, and then I just roll my lashes between my fingers, and it just comes off in these nice tubes. All right. I'm just going to take my e.l.f. lip gloss. It just has a little bit of a tint to it, in keeping with this very, very natural palette. I think I will bring this when I travel. As I mentioned, it's quite thin. It's very, very light. And I've got all the colors that I need here. I love blush, so I'm actually just gonna put a little bit more on. And lately, I've been putting it over the bridge of my nose as well for a little bit more of a sun-kissed look. I'll dab a tiny bit more highlighter just above the Cupid's bow. And there you have it. Overall, I'm really pleased. I think if you are looking for a quick solution, especially if you're traveling, or you just want a quick like 10-minute face with very few brushes, and this is a new type of product for me. I've used tinted sunscreen, and sometimes I mix a little bit of foundation with a serum to get a light finish, but this one, the final result is quite translucent, and even some of my freckles are still showing through. So if you're looking for a lighter finish, I think this would work really well for you. It was super fast. I enjoyed using the Kabuki brush, which is new to me, and yeah, let me know what you think, and if you enjoyed this tutorial. Of course, please follow along for more of my artwork and behind the scenes as well. Please hit that subscribe button and feel free to share this with a friend from a regular lady who is not a makeup artist. See you next time.